Welcome to the Community
Welcome to
Bite Reviewcast. This is our review of Marvel's Captain America Civil War. May It made about $200 million on its international release, and it made pretty close to $200 million again on its domestic release. So that's pretty crazy. I'm joined by Jolly and Kevin to review this movie.
Hello, I am Jolly.
Hello, and I'm Kevin.
So pretty much we're gonna do a non-spoiler part in like the first 5 or 10 minutes, and to basically see a yes or no to see this movie, and then we'll head into heavy spoilers. But right now we're doing the non-spoiler part of the review, and so pretty much what I want to get from you guys is it a yes or no to see this movie?
100% yes, unless you just don't like any of the Marvel universe. It's a great Marvel movie. They don't stray too far from the formula, but they keep improving it and keep making better and better movies.
Kevin?
Yeah, and for story-wise, you're gonna have to keep up with this story, so you have to watch this movie to see what's going on, because they introduce a couple new characters in there.
I think they do introduce a bunch of characters, and you know the overall, like, the Russo brothers just killed it. They
Yeah.
killed it. I mean, I think that they're starting to get to the point of Christopher Nolan movies. I know that's like sacrilegious to say, but like it's starting to get to the point. Like, it's getting there. It's not there yet, but it's. I think by the end of the Infinity Wars and all the Inhuman stuff, I think they're gonna get to the point where they're gonna be actually fantastic movies. Like, for my father, he's a big Fast and Furious guy, and he's more action than actual substance in a movie. So if he just wants to go turn his brain off and go see just explosions, but there's still merit into the substance, and so when he sees The Dark Knight, he's amazed by that kind of stuff. But for this,
Yeah.
he would totally love this. Just like the mere scope of the battles, the explosions, but yet feeling, and I applaud them for that. For this, is still feeling like a small contained story, like what they had in like it wasn't like an end of the world scenario. It was just like this is happening between us, and this only involves us. This doesn't involve anyone else. This is a battle between us. They could have made it into an end of a world scenario, but they didn't, which I applaud them for doing that.
Yeah, they didn't go overboard. It was a Captain America movie, and it felt like a Captain America movie, not a giant Avengers versus the world. It was a focusing on the Captain America story and how that fit into this whole Civil War that was happening,
Yeah, but
and not trying to expand too
Winter
far.
Soldier was very end of the world scenario, though. I would say.
It had a lot of that, but it was still. I liked Winter Soldier a lot.
Yeah,
That
Winter
was a
Soldier was
fantastic
really
movie.
good. Winter Soldier's up there with Iron Man 1 and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Captain America movies in general have had a lot of you get that Marvel feeling, but they get to explore different feelings because the Winter Soldier was more of that spy movie type of thing, and then this was that Captain America, but with a giant ensemble cast and balancing those two things.
They balance so many characters too, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's amazing writing and direction to be able to balance that many strong characters and not have it come off as just a complete mess.
Yeah, and that gives confidence to the Infinity War movies, honestly.
Exactly.
So, because if they can handle the egos of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and and all the other people, I mean, I think they can handle Chris Pratt, adding Chris Pratt into the mess and all that other stuff. I just think that that's going to be. I mean, like, that gives me a lot of confidence for an Infinity War.
Yeah, it was kind of like a dry run of the giant ensemble cast thing where they still had the big cast, but it wasn't as big and didn't have as many of the big characters. And then they'll bring in Infinity War with all of the big characters that you want to see, and they'll have already gotten this practice with this one and get to do more of that.
Kevin, what
I
do you
wish it was.
see? What do you see in the future?
I see it's going pretty good so far. Like the way that the story with Civil War is going, it felt right. Like I can just see what's gonna happen next.
You're excited to see what happens
Reading
next?
some of the comics, yeah, and like what I've seen from the comics, it's kind of going some kind of the right direction, and so far I'm liking it, and I'm liking how they portraying Spider-Man now. Not
Yeah,
much
well,
of a spoiler, but
let's hold that off until when we get to the heavy spoilers. I still want to say one more thing.
yeah,
I think that final say into the non-spoiler review is that this felt like a grand movie, but we're still one step away from the whole picture, and we still don't know what's going on, kind of thing, and that's going to lead a lot of intrigue into the future movies. And I'm very excited for the one-off movies and all that stuff. So, final say, everyone, yes, go see Captain America: Civil War. It's fantastic. Even if you don't like Marvel movies, this is completely on a different level.
Yeah, I was just
A lot
looking
of-
up some of the numbers for it, and it's already passed internationally. It's passed the lifetime earnings of Captain America, the original one, Iron Man, Thor, Iron Man 2, Ant-Man, Thor: Dark World, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Winter Soldier. It's beaten all of those already.
Yeah, it's been 2 weekends technically, two
Yeah.
weekends. So
It's insanity.
I think this is a big hit. This is definitely a big hit.
yeah.
So go join everyone else and go watch it.
Go watch it. Yes, first of all, watch this video, and then go watch, Captain America: Civil War. Okay, so we can get the view time up. So
Or go watch pause it and go watch Civil War. Come back and finish watching it and see if you agree with us
yeah,
or disagree.
with our notes for sure. Kevin, so final say, yes, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. A lot of action. It's an awesome Marvel movie.
A lot of punchy, kicky.
Yeah.
I will say before we head into heavy spoilers, Captain America doesn't skip leg day again. His kicks, man.
Jeez.
His kicks, man. I don't understand how strong are his legs. He like kicks people like 15, 20 meters into a wall. It's ridiculous. But that's the same thing from Winter Soldier. He was a very kicky guy in Winter Soldier as well. So, okay,
Yeah.
so we're heading into heavy spoiler territory. So, if you don't want to be spoiled for the movie, please go away. Don't listen to us anymore. Please, this is your last chance. Go. This is the heavy spoiler portion of the review. Okay, let's start with the very beginning, I guess, which was starting off with Bucky, with the car crash. And I think the car crash scene was super confusing when I started.
Yeah, it was.
I
had no idea what was going on.
The car
which
crash
was the
scene,
point.
Yeah. So I think that, the car crash scene was very confusing, and I'm sure and it was like, what the heck is this? I guess it's just like Bucky's last mission, I guess, or something like that, or like
something going happening, and we don't know what's happening.
In the whole scope of the movie, which I'll probably get to later again, you probably didn't have to do with that scene they probably didn't have to have that scene at all.
Probably, but it was an interesting extra layer where when you get to the end of the movie and you understand, like, as they bring back that scene multiple other times and show you more of it, you kind of get this like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, but I
don't
feel like they
know
could
if
have
you really needed that.
Yeah,
first one.
as the very beginning, like this, there was supposed to be I guess they were supposed to shock you, I guess, in the beginning, but I didn't get that at all.
It was probably a better beginning than starting on the Tony Stark scene.
Yeah. Because they went from there, Kevin, right? They went from there to the Wakanda scene, correct? That's what
Yeah, they went to that.
So they went to Wakanda and they kill off Crossbones in the very beginning.
Oh man, dude, I was kind of upset when that happened. I'm like, that guy was pretty cool, and then once he died, my brother was like, because I was watching with him, he's like, well, there goes your favorite villain. I'm like, fuck. dude. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm a pretty big comic book guy, so I'm glad they had Crossbones in there, and the way they like marketed him, like he was gonna have a big important role in the movie, but he didn't. He was just like there in the beginning, stealing chemical weapons, I guess, and then he had a
Yeah.
fucked up face, and then he dies, and that's it.
Yeah.
I was kind of pissed about that,
I
but
felt like his
Well,
face
kind of the
should have been more
whole-
fucked up too.
Yeah,
that-
probably.
if I remember correctly, that's the reason why he wears the mask in the comic book movies too, right? Is because he has a fucked
Yeah.
up face.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
should've-
it was a good
should've
nod
taken-
to the original comics, I guess.
Could have taken more of a nod from Deadpool's makeup and had that incredibly fucked up face that
Yeah.
he
But-
had.
I'm glad they. I mean, I'm mad that they got rid of Crossbones in the beginning, but I'm glad they at least like gave him his time in the limelight because he's super important in the Civil War comic books. But it also made you realize, okay, this is not the Civil War comic books. This is the Civil War of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is not the comic books one, so it's going to be different.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think
they got that out of the way right at the beginning.
yes. So yeah. So I think that that was smart and made me mad too. But it was smart. It made me realize in the beginning, this isn't comic book Marvel Civil War. So they fuck up in Wakanda or something like that. You know, Scarlet Witch goes into teenage panic mode, like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?" and
Gets locked in her room.
Yeah, it gets locked in a room, and you
I
know,
kind of forgot she was a teenager.
well,
I'm
she
like,
doesn't
oh,
look like a
yeah.
teenager, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the struggles of casting a teenager. There's not many great teenage actors.
Yeah, with Russian accents as well. Isn't it weird that Elizabeth
Exactly.
Olsen has a Russian accent? Like, I can't get that past me.
It's just let it happen.
I guess you gotta let it happen, but I don't want
Yeah.
to though, because it's like I see Elizabeth Olsen, and I'm like, I'm ready for like Freaks and Geeks to come out of nowhere. But no, it's Elizabeth Olsen with a Russian accent and like her telepathy powers, I guess, or something like that. But so yeah, Captain America tries to console her for killing those people in Wakanda, and people are freaking out. And then the Vision comes through wearing a sweater vest. That guy's honestly, the Vision in this movie was so good.
He is fantastic.
He was wearing a sweater vest like pretty much the whole movie. Like,
Until he had his suit on.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But like I think his name's Paul Bettany.
Yeah.
He took his real life persona into the movie, which I like a lot. Like, he's taking his real life, because that's the kind of guy Paul Bettany is. If you've seen his other movies, he's done a bunch of other. He's actually like a pretty famous British actor, so he's done a bunch of other movies, and so like I feel like he's taking his real life persona and making it into a superhero, which is super awesome in my opinion. And
it's always great when you get the actors that become the character. And
Yeah.
you don't have to struggle so hard
yeah, but
to relate them to the character.
the quips that they're having in the beginning really sets the tone of like how like they're kind of family.
Yeah. I love that Red Wing, the Falcon's little pet Falcon thing. And it's like, he's telling Black Widow to thank it. It's like,
Oh yeah, what was
I'm
it
not-
called?
I'm
It was
not
like
thinking
Red
that thing.
Hawk or something like that.
I think it was Red Wing.
Red Wing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was really funny actually. Yeah, and they
Go ahead and pet it.
yeah, go ahead and pet it. That was weird. That was really weird. But
Yeah.
what was pretty awesome was that the what was it? What was I gonna say? They like that was kind of like they were trying to make it seem important, but people were like, oh, it's just his like side thing, but it actually comes back into play, which is really
Yeah,
funny.
it comes back a couple of times.
Yeah, which is it was weird, I guess, but like I was very surprised like they kind of made it into a thing, and I hope they make it into a future thing. Like he uses that more often, and it's not just used in this movie. But back to
Yeah, they're trying to expand on him as a character and make it so that he's more of one of the leading people.
Like, let me go into a more broad subject. Is like, who would have thought that I would care about the Falcon?
Exactly.
He was
But
pretty
they're doing
badass.
that because the big guys are gonna have to retire at some point. They're gonna bring in the B team, as you would call them, and they want to have you care about them as much as you care about Stark and Captain America and all those
Who would
guys.
have thought I would have cared about War Machine? Like who would have thought? Like when like, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll bring
Yeah,
that up later.
that's a lot later in the movie.
Yeah. So with all the stuff, and let's go back in subject to back in the storyline. All the stuff in Wakanda happens, and then I think they go pretty much straight into the Wakanda. What are they called? The Wakanda something. I forget what it was called.
Well, first they cut to Stark doing his
Oh yeah, Stark does
speech
his
at MIT.
and he gets
And Pepper
intimidated.
Potts not there.
Oh yeah, he's going through a bunch of stuff. Kevin, what was he going through? He was
It was like, I guess, showing some presentation how they can kind of relive their memory. What was it? And
Yeah, he was
going,
showing off one of his inventions where he was able to like let you relive a traumatic memory and change it so it was better. And he was talking about how it was this weird thing. Nobody would have funded him. So then he leads that into the whole he's going to fund everyone there. And then at the end of his speech, the teleprompter says that Pepper Potts is, now Pepper Potts to introduce the grant, and that catches him off guard because he's in his whole not with Pepper Potts right now.
yeah. And then he gets intimidated by the woman.
Yeah.
Whose son died during the Sokovia incident.
So yeah, Sokovia.
Yeah.
So obviously that like those two things coming together like affect him a lot. And so I think that gets brought up, like those two things again being parallel, like the Sokovia incident and Pepper Potts not being around it.
I gotta say that seeing Tony Stark that young during that
was
presentation,
weird.
That was so weird.
I'm like, wait, that is supposed to be Tony Stark.
It's amazing.
CG is not quite there yet.
I know, but it was amazing. It's amazing that can happen. Period.
Yeah, it looked good. It's just like it just looked off.
Yeah, it was like a weird combination of real and not real at the same time.
It also kind of confused me too, because I'm like, wait, are they showing something in the past? They didn't say anything about 20 years ago. Or
well, it was present time and with the hologram stuff.
Well, that's the thing that kind of confused me. I didn't know with the hologram, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. When they introduced that scene, it was confusing.
Yeah. So he goes from there, pretty much being affected by Pepper Potts not being around him, and by that woman, like who tells him about his son dying. Mm-hmm. He goes back to the Avengers home base, I guess what it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, the Avengers compound.
And they pretty much they start introducing the Wakanda. What's it called? The Wakanda
Infinite.
Yeah, the Wakanda Papers or something like that.
That's the Sokovian Accords.
Oh, it's called the Sokovia Accords. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Not Wakanda Accords.
No, it's the Sokovia Accords because it was starting to be drafted after the whole Sokovia thing, and then the Wakanda incident just pushed it to the forefront.
All right, so it's called the Sokovia Accords. Okay, and so they introduced that in like how the Avengers need to be put under a UN committee and stuff like that, and people start freaking out, of course, right then and there.
Yeah, I think Tony acknowledges that they need oversight and they can't keep working alone and whatever they think is best. And then Captain America doesn't trust other people to tell him what is right.
Well, because he's a good old American and that you should have the choice to do things, blah, blah, blah.
Yep. And the past he's had with trusting people.
Yeah, well, Winter Soldier, he had trouble trusting everyone. So you saw Winter Soldier coming back up in past storylines, which is really cool. Like past storylines coming up and dealing with people, and like they would talk about Scarlett Johansson dealing with the government, or not the Black Widow dealing with the government. Like, oh hey, didn't you say the government go fuck yourself kind of thing?
Yeah,
I love that little exchange.
Yeah, and then I think that, honestly the best part of that was of that whole exchange of them talking about it and stuff, like kind of feeling it out, was when the Vision was talking about the mathematical equation when Iron Man like released himself, or like when he told everyone, "Hey, I am Iron Man," blah blah blah. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that that also set the tone for him and how he felt about all this stuff was very logical, very cold.
Yeah, well, that's
About
what the Vision is. It's all based on logic.
yeah,
He's
and
trying
that
to
set the tone
learn
of how he was
emotion.
going to fight. I mean, that was going to set the tone of how he was going to handle with everyone. And so I think they after that they go their separate ways. Really cool seeing Peggy Carter do all that stuff, like the Peggy Carter stuff, like Peggy Carter dying and all that stuff.
Hmm.
That was like a good nod to the TV show, I guess, that they have in ABC.
Yeah, well, and it's Peggy Carter from the other Captain America movies. She's the one that Captain America cares about, and he lost when he
Yeah.
sacrificed that relationship to go, save in the first movie.
I owe you a
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah,
One of the most
Got
cringy
that
parts of
dance.
the movie, of the first Captain America movie. But yeah, so Peggy dies, and then it's revealed that the blonde haired girl from Winter Soldier is actually Peggy's niece, right? Yeah, niece.
Yeah.
yes,
And so, that's actually like I'm kind of surprised that they just kind of just threw that at us, like, oh hey, by the way, she's kind of important, which was really weird, but that's fine.
She was in a Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah, she was, but like
Yeah.
she was kind of just like a person. I think it would have been better if they just left her to be a nobody, kind of just hanging out with these superheroes, kind of thing.
yeah. It was kind of weird because, like, then throughout the whole movie, she seemed to just always be in the right spot with access to the right things to
Yeah,
always get him what he
didn't make
needed. It was
sense.
it was awkward
Yeah, it didn't make sense in my opinion.
because somehow she just has access to everything.
And then right after the funeral, with Peggy Carter's funeral, they go straight into, oh, by the way, these guys are like have some sexual tension, by the way. Which
Yeah.
was that was bad. I didn't like that at all.
It was kind of creepy. I'm like, you just like the aunt, and then you like the niece now. I'm like, it's kind of weird.
And no, and the aunt was like the love of his life, and then now he's all of a
Yeah.
sudden moving on to this chick who happens to be the niece. Like, that was like the biggest flaw of the movie to me.
Well, he liked her in the last movie.
Not really. They were kind of just like neighbors. I mean, Captain America doesn't like anyone, if you ask me, to be honest.
They were like building the like chemistry in the last movie.
Yeah, but that's like the
and
same
then
way
whole
they
thing
built the
came out.
chemistry with Black Widow and Captain America. I don't see a difference between in Winter Soldier. I didn't see the difference between Sharon Carter and Black Widow with their relationship with Captain America. Like I didn't see a difference in that. Like a brother sister
Yeah.
relationship, or a work husband, work wife kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like a work husband, work wife kind of thing. Nothing sexual about it. Like there was nothing sexual about it in Winter Soldier.
Well, now there is.
Yeah, see that's the thing. They just threw it in there. Oh, by the way, we have to have like a romantic thing.
Yeah, they gotta show Captain America moving on, and that was how they chose to show it.
Yeah, I guess so. It was like right after the funeral too, wasn't it? When they yeah, it was. That was.
It's like, oh, she's dead. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, and I think right after that they went straight into the bombing of the UN, right after the funeral.
They had
I think it was.
the introducing Zemo before that.
Oh, introduced Black Panther, the Black Panther character.
No, Zemo, the bad guy.
Right after.
He was getting the information from the guy in Cleveland.
Oh, that was another weak part of the movie.
That was kind of weird.
It was like it was confusing, definitely, and even even with the whole thing, even when we find out in the end why he's doing this stuff, it just like still felt weak. It felt like a weak part of the movie. Like
Yeah, and I guess I don't quite understand. I think I maybe missed something, but I don't understand why the book isn't in its like custom made vault. But did they use that in one of the other movies?
They probably no, I don't think so, because Winter Soldier was Russian. He wasn't part of Hydra necessarily.
Yeah. So I don't really understand why the book is not in its custom made vault that they showed at the beginning of the movie.
I guess that's just one of the things you gotta let go, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta kind of just say, okay, I guess he has it.
Well, the guy was Russian, and he was kind of like a secretive guy. So
Yeah, well, he was one of the guys that worked at that facility.
okay. Oh, okay.
He was the guy who did the code in the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know
He
that.
estimated him.
But like, I don't understand why he would have taken the book instead of just leaving it in its vault.
Yeah.
You know, just something to keep. You keep like a souvenir from everywhere you work or everywhere you go. That's his souvenir.
Let's keep the secret book with me. Just
Yeah.
memories.
Memories. Gotta love those memories.
He won't give up any, vital info, but yeah, keep these super dangerous, documents in his house. No problem.
Yeah, he says "Hail Hydra" at the very end.
I know.
I think
That
actually
was weird.
him saying "Hail Hydra" at the very end, I think was good because it portrayed the villain of this movie not necessarily a bad guy. The villain in this movie was not necessarily a bad guy.
Yeah, he was talking about how he wanted, it's like, give me this information. I don't want to have to do this other bloody stuff and, cause all this death. I just want this to happen, and you can help me make this happen by just giving the information.
Yeah, and he says
And
"Hail
it's-
Hydra,"
Yeah, and it's like,
and
screw you.
and
Hail
the
Hydra.
guy drowns himself. Yeah, so he wasn't necessarily. I would say like the villain wasn't necessarily a bad guy, and I think that set the tone of saying the villain isn't the villain in this movie isn't necessarily a villain. He thinks what he's doing is the right thing.
Well, that's kind of the whole theme of the entire movie is all the sides are doing what they think is the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no real right and wrong in this movie.
Yes, totally agree. So after the torture scene, they go straight into the Sokovia Accords, and they
go to the
introduce
UN.
the Wakanda leaders and the Black Panther. What was the Black Panther's name again? T'Challa.
Yeah.
So
Something like that.
they go straight into introducing him, which was I think Black Panther was really strong in this movie, like as a whole.
Definitely. I loved even like the little glimpses we got showed a real growth of his character, like through the grieving and vengeance of the death of his father to accepting it and realizing what he has to do at the end. It's really cool.
He definitely grew as a character, like as his emotions grew, definitely, and like how he changed as a human, because you could tell that he was a very not antagonistic, that's the wrong word, his father kind of like his father knew that he didn't like politics, so you could tell he had a very warrior mentality, like fighting is the answer kind of mentality. And
he was the Black Panther. He was the one that defends Wakanda.
Yeah. So I feel like what was it, Kevin?
I think that's why his dad was proud of him to be with him during that conference, right?
Yeah, to see him grow into a more well-rounded human. Yeah, and everything and then the bombings happened after that, and then everyone, Black Widow's trying to console him, and he realizes, and he switches right back to that Black Panther violent character, and he's like, I need to go get revenge for my father, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of him.
Yeah, and that was that's when you knew shit was getting real.
So the bombing was from Zemo, right?
The bombing was Zemo, yes.
All right,
yeah, they revealed that later.
Yeah, and sorry, what was that?
I'm like, it was kind of weird because I'm like, we saw him in Cleveland with that Russian guy, and then you see him then the bomb explodes, and I'm like, how did that happen?
Well, you gotta let go of that thing too.
That's how I was confused. I'm like, all right, someone tried to bomb it, and then I guess it was revealed it was Zemo, which was all right.
Yeah, that's a thing. I guess
they went Cleveland, and then they went to the London scene with the funeral, and then they went to the UN. So there is time passing, and it's just kind of like jumping over the world to get these different areas happening
and get people together and such.
Yeah.
And then I think right after that they go into trying to find Bucky. Everyone trying to find Bucky, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome fight scene with Captain America and Winter Soldier fighting all those guys. That was so cool. More kicking, again, more kicking.
all that kicking, and then
And
they
I
get
like,
to the
and also I liked Captain America just saying, "Oh, hey, don't kill anyone," and then like saving all these guys while attacking him at the same time. That was a really interesting aspect of the fight. So, and then that was a really awesome fight scene. I mean, obviously you can't get. I was thinking there, you can't get anything better than that. Am I right? And then obviously I was wrong.
They're from all the punching and kicking. I'm surprised some of those guys didn't die, actually, just from the punches and kicks itself.
They had a bunch of Kevlar vests and stuff, right? Take the shock.
Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's like Batman like breaking everyone's collarbones. You know, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of hand waving of the brutal violence in these types of movies.
Yeah. So they have this fight scene, and then they knock out Bucky. I think, or no, they capture. Then they run away, and then we finally see Black Panther for the first time. Legit Black Panther, like with his suit and all that stuff, which was so cool. I freaking love Black Panther's suit. I think it's better than the comic book version, to be honest.
Yeah, and he starts she shrugs off all those bullets from the helicopter, and it's like
it's from the vibranium, correct? That's why.
Yeah. They introduced the suit as vibranium, so he's got that, that makes me think of things about the end of the movie. But say here,
yeah. So yeah, which was really cool. Like I think Black Panther's suit in the comics obviously is just like a plain black suit. There's nothing like really like special about it, I guess. I mean, there's no design really for it. It's just a plain black suit, really. But in this movie, it had like lines and all that stuff, and you could tell like there was like a texture to it. It looked so cool. I was like, oh, I want that. I want that.
Yeah. I love the sound design for the Black Panther, because like whenever he would do those big drops, you would hear like the crunching and the hitting of the other people dropping, and then he would just kind of have like as he dropped.
Doesn't he have like
a cat?
Yeah, doesn't he have like a weird noise in the comics when when stuff hits his suit? I think like it has I think in the cartoon, I've seen in the cartoons, whenever he's in the cartoons, whenever he gets hit, it has like the same noise that the Captain America shield makes. Like it has that like wong 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 like kind of noise. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, that sound, the vibranium sound.
The vibranium sound, yeah, which I think is an awesome. Whoever made that sound for the vibranium that's like such a good noise. It's like the
sound
perfect
designers
thing.
Are great.
So yeah, I think they fight for a while and then they get captured, which is
well, they do that big chase scene, which is
awesome. Which was intense. A whole bunch of running.
Man, when a soldier grabbed that motorcycle, oh my god!
How did they do that without hurting the stuntman? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but it was.
I would love to see behind the scenes for that shot, because that was so cool.
I mean, it's like honestly, the stunt people in this movie, they should get a lot of respect. Like the stuff that they had to do was just ridiculous.
And then like the Black Panther like running around like on the roof grabbing onto people and things like that. That was pretty cool.
And like the claws coming out constantly. Like they kept pointing that out. I was like, hey, these are his claws. Like his claws are coming out. And that was really cool in my opinion. Like always pointing that out. Always pointing out that, hey, these are my claws.
Look at them. They're claws.
Just look at them. But like that was important for later on in the movie when he retracts his claws.
Yeah.
So I think he gets captured along with Captain America and
Falcon.
And so
and
Winter Soldier.
All get captured.
Yeah, and so they get their stuff taken away and go into a detention facility, I guess. And then Bucky gets in this like insane thing.
Chamber thing.
He gets put in this like chamber that will hold him and not let him out, so they can do a psychoanalysis on him.
How cool is it that we live in a world where Martin Freeman plays like a side character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Like that was crazy. Like I didn't know Martin Freeman was going to be in this movie.
Yeah, when that reveal of him when he was standing there, I was just like, oh yes, this is great.
He's not even like that important of a character. He's not even like the head of, like the Secretary of State guy or the like he's just the head of that like detention facility. That's it.
Yeah,
It was like why would you pay this much money for this guy to be in here? Because he's like a pretty big actor.
Just to
Yeah.
have a big name in the
Another
big
with
name
all
in
the other
movie.
million
Yeah.
big names.
also with some of that stuff, the people will just want to do it.
Yeah,
Like with Star Wars, how Daniel Craig had his little cameo in there.
yeah. I guess that's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I just it was just weird, definitely to see him, but like it was so cool. They had to make. I think they were probably contractually obligate him to get him in the very end of the movie, with when they captured the Sarkovia guy.
Yeah, that was great.
And so I think after that part, the Sarkovia guy gets in touch with Winter Soldier and makes him freak out with all the notebook and all that stuff. If that's correct.
Yeah. Well, before that, they had the little aside with the cooking with the Vision.
Oh,
yeah.
That was really good, and I think that set up sexual tension between them. Obviously,
that was really.
Tension.
Yeah, we need as much more sexual tension. Obviously, doesn't the Vision and Scarlet Witch have like a relationship in the comics?
Yeah, that's one of the big things they had. One big points they had in the comics with the Civil War comics.
Oh, was that Scarlet Witch and Civil and the Vision?
Yeah.
But didn't Scarlet Witch and the brother and Quicksilver have a relationship?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, I think like when they were originally introduced, I think Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, they were like an incestual relationship or something like that.
They were brother and sister.
Well, maybe I'm getting. I could have sworn I saw somewhere that they were like like they were into each other or something like that.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes the Marvel does crazy things.
I want to learn more of that now.
I guess so. So yeah, so the Vision and they introduce the Vision and the way that they talk to each other was really awesome. I think just the whole point of this like thing is just like everything that they hit was awesome. Like everything they wanted to hit was great in this movie. And so like so the talking between Scarlet Witch and like Scarlet Witch taking over the cooking and he's like, oh, by the way, hey, like I know I messed up, but like I've never really tasted anything before.
Yeah.
Never like, actually. That's perfect. Like they're like she is the crazy side and he is the logical side, and like the way they mix together is perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
So
then they go back to the Avengers, or not Avengers compound, but the detention facility, and Zemo has his little henchman guy, or probably not a henchman, but some delivery guy, deliver the big EMP.
Oh yeah.
And then that goes off.
That was weird, but it was obviously not that important. It was just to take out the electricity.
Yeah, so he could get some time to talk to the Winter Soldier and go through all the words.
Yeah, then Winter Soldier freaks out.
And he breaks out of the chamber. I'm like...
It's like there was so much there was also this movie was so great, but there was a lot of points where it's just like, oh, this all of a sudden like just people stop working now and like everyone just gets beat up kind of thing. Well, that's whatever though. It's this thing. It's another thing. You just got to say, oh, suck it up, whatever.
Yeah, some stuff just has to happen for the sake of the movie moving forward.
Yeah. So I think Bucky tries to run away. He hurts a bunch of people. They fight a bunch of people again. And the fighting scenes are amazing, of course.
We get the Iron Gauntlet from Tony Stark. That was fantastic.
Is that like a thing? I didn't know that was a thing. Like he just has an iron hand.
I mean, it's just his little mini suits that he makes that lets him have some capabilities even when he's not, in his full suit.
Yeah.
Like in 2, I think it was, where he had his briefcase suit, or was that 3?
No, those two. Two
Those
had the
two,
briefcase, which was cool, I guess. But it was the
so
mini
now
hand. I remember in Iron Man 3, like they made him seem like they make him seem useless, kind of without his suit.
yeah,
In Iron Man
because
3,
he shows that he's a decent fighter, but he's definitely,
he's
the
just a
suit.
dude. He's just a dude.
Yeah.
He's just a regular dude. He can't really do much against, this super powered guy with a metal arm.
And he's never been trained like Black Widow has in like fighting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from him when he was trying to fight Winter Soldier. I'm like,
He's gonna get beat up. He had no choice but
Yeah.
to just go get beat up.
you should just waited for someone else to come over and then to help out.
Yeah.
When he had the little gauntlet.
Yeah. So then
But it shows his character though, that he, as much as he, is on the sidelines in a lot of the stuff, he will put himself on the line if he feels he has to.
What did he say in the beginning? It's a occupational hazard.
Yeah.
Which is something typically you'd expect from a Tony Stark. And then so Bucky tries to escape from the compound, and then he steals a helicopter, and then they go to the scene where like, look, this is how strong Captain America is, and he's pulling back the helicopter. And I was like,
man, he's strong, dude. He's buff too. Chris Evans.
Dude, that his bicep. Oh my goodness, that bicep.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. But like, I think that was the part of the story where it's like we gotta jerk off Iron Man a little bit, or jerk off Captain America a little bit to make him look like really cool. So it's like, okay, this is the part where we jerk off Captain America a little bit.
He's gonna pull a helicopter down with pure strength.
Yeah. So they rescue. I love how they made a parallel between Winter Soldier and this movie where Captain America, Steve Rogers pulls pulls Bucky out of the water, which was really cool. Just like a nod to Winter Soldier, I guess.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think they regroup. Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and Captain America regroup with real Bucky Barnes, with legit Bucky Barnes, not crazy Winter Soldier Bucky Barnes.
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna snap out of that kind of.
Yeah, it was like really easy how I snapped out. Just like, oh, I gotta knock you out. That's how it works, I guess.
Or splash a little water on him and he's back to normal.
It's cold water, man. That can happen to anyone.
Yeah, but that's the scene they showed at the end of Iron Man 3, I think, right?
What?
That whole scene? They showed a preview of that scene, one at the end of the movies.
Oh, of him waking up with the arm like clamped down?
Yeah. I don't know what movie they showed at the end, but they showed in one of them.
Yeah. So I think they regroup and then they start like they get their stuff back by Sharon Carter, and then Steve Rogers makes out with the chick, and then I just cringe automatically. I'm just like, oh, this is not normal. This is weird.
I love the connection.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said, I like the connection between the Falcon and Bucky in their car.
Bucky's that was the best part.
Can you move the seat forward? And he's like, he doesn't say anything, so he just moves to the other side.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Well, and then when they kiss, he looks back and they're just like nodding and smiling.
Yeah.
They're just like, hell, well, that's what you expect best friends to do, right?
Yeah. It was just great to see this. Like, he's got his two best friends, and they're like, they don't really get along, but they,
well, it's like
there for Cap.
It's like it kind of represents life. It's like you have this new best friend and this old best friend that you have, and then they get together and they're kind of like at rivals for a little bit, but then they get along at the end. And then they become best friends and then replace you, and then that all happens, and then
they send you out, and then you're nobody anymore.
Yeah, then you're all alone doing a review of Captain America: Civil War.
Oh man, life.
Am I right? And so yeah, then I think they get all the. I think they start recruiting all the superheroes after that.
Yeah, they go through the montage of getting all the people on each side. So they
I'm still
grab.
waiting until. And so they go get Spider-Man. I think first, correct?
Yeah, I think he was the first.
Oh, man.
I can't wait till Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then the end credit scene for Spider-Man: Homecoming is gonna be Tony Stark making out with Aunt May.
Yes.
God.
Like
Why do
that's
they keep
gonna be.
making Aunt May younger and younger?
I
It's
don't
just
know.
so weird.
She's hot though. She's hot in this movie.
Yeah.
She's one attractive lady. She's supposed to be like 60, 70 years old. She looks like 40 or 50, and she is one attractive 40 or 50-year-old. Let me tell you.
She looked
Yeah.
like 30 to me. I'm like, Jesus.
So yeah, they get, and then after Tony gets Spider-Man, I think they switch to Hawkeye getting Scarlet Witch and attacking, the Vision, which was like
Yeah.
you could tell the Vision was like really sad about all that stuff happening. Like
Before
he's
we go
like,
too far with that, how did they get Hawkeye back? Did they explain that?
no, they.
I was g-
Well, Captain America called him.
Yeah, they
They-
just said, "Hey, hype
Oh.
us."
When Hawkeye delivers the people to Cap, and Cap says, thanks for coming. It's like, yeah, no problem. When you call, I gotta help.
Yeah, so he gets Scarlet Witch and he gets what's the Ant-Man's name again? I forget. I don't
Paul
remember.
Rudd?
Yeah, not Paul. It's
Scott Lang.
yeah, Scott Lang.
Yes, Colleen.
Scott Lang. And then we get
God,
into
that
the
guy.
climax of the movie. After everyone is brought together and the huge fight scene happens between everyone. Everyone is fighting everyone. Our Team Iron Man,
Yeah.
who has Black Panther, Spider-Man, Black Widow, the Vision, the War Machine, and that's it.
At first, Vision wasn't really there. I was wondering where he was.
Yeah,
And
but
then
he
he comes
came
in a
back.
bit later.
I think he was
Yeah.
stuck in the
Later.
middle of the earth or something like that.
Yeah.
Waiting
then-
in traffic.
And then you got Team Captain America, which is Captain America, Winter Soldier, the Falcon, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, and that's
Yeah.
it as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And just like everything was perfect. The way Spider-Man talked to everyone was perfect. Like all his quips to everyone, like, "Oh my God, you have a metal arm. What the?" Like he was like going crazy about it. Like, that's such
Their
a Spider-Man
writing for
thing.
Spider-Man was on point. It was amazing.
When Falcon tells him, "You're talking a little too much for this fight," or something.
Yeah. Oh man, it was perfect. I mean, that Spider-Man talks during his fights, though. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's like
Well, that's
it's like a cloud. Like his talking takes over, so he doesn't show that he's scared or something. Like that.
Yeah.
And then
Freaking funny.
Ant-Man was perfect as well. Like, honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this. The best part of Captain America Civil War was Ant-Man. Ant-Man was the best part of Captain America Civil War.
Ant-Man and Spider-Man stole the show
Yeah.
from me.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I mean, Paul Rudd probably added some stuff with Ant-Man to make it better. But, like, oh my God, I care about Ant-Man. Like, oh my goodness, great. Who the fuck? Like, when Ant-Man came out and be like, oh, Ant-Man, he goes small, big deal. Because I knew he goes big, like, he can get big at sooner or later.
Yeah.
When he went big, I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this.
Yeah. I'm like, I expected it in the next movie for him, but they did it in this one. And I'm like, man, that's awesome.
And they used the perfect use of their one swear word with Spider-Man reacting with his "oh shit."
Yeah, Spider-Man can't curse too much. Don't. He's still a kid, right? And then Spider-Man referencing Star Wars. Oh my God, that was perfect.
Remember that old movie?
Oh man, that was so.
Who is
perfect.
this kid?
That was so perfect. And just that
I
whole
love it.
fight scene. It is probably I'm gonna say this, and it's that's probably the best comic out of all the comic book movies. I am a huge fan of Watchmen. Watchmen I still consider is like the top 3 comic book movies of all time. And then it goes Dark Knight Rises and all that other stuff. And then this fight scene though, like Captain America: Civil War is not the greatest comic book movie of all time, but this fight scene was probably the best fight scene out of any comic book movie of all time.
It was just so well done.
And it was just like you lose you forget to like remember like 5 or 7 years ago, all like 5 to 10 years ago, all these properties were split up. Like all in within one company, all these properties were split up, and now they're all
Yeah.
fighting each other. Not alone that they've worked together. Now they're fighting each other. Like they've worked together. We know that they can work together. Now they're like they don't like each other, and now they're fighting each other. That boggles my mind.
Oh man, the best scene was when they're both on sides, and they all come into class each other.
And that was supposed to
had
be
that-
like cliche, but it wasn't though. It was still
Yeah,
good.
and they
It
had
was
that
just
one
so epic.
shot.
There was no way to be cliche with that much epicness.
They had that one shot where you see all of them just hitting each other, and then you can see them go through everyone. I was like, oh man, this is so awesome.
It
Everyone
was
punching each other.
it just the whole thing was that whole airport scene was fantastic.
Yeah.
The
And
one
s-
thing that just instantly just is frustrated me over and over again was, they were destroying like every plane, but they kept looking over the Quinjet and not doing anything to it.
that was
Like-
annoying. Yeah, I guess so. But they tried to, and
And-
then War Machine gets hurt in that part.
And then when Vision shot his little laser and he's like, yeah, let's block off the entrance instead of just shoot the jet.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh my
Come on.
goodness. You could have just shot the. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And then so I think after all the fighting kind of starts dying down, War Machine gets hurt by the Vision. And, Team Iron Man or Captain America and Winter Soldier escape with the Quinjet.
Yeah.
And
That was a brutal shot with the, Vision shoots his laser, Falcon swerves out of the way, and it just goes right up War Machine's chest and blows out the arc reactor in his chest, and he starts falling, and it cuts back and forth between just Don Cheadle's face in darkness because his suit's completely powered down, and then like the big wide shot of him just falling with the other two flying to try to catch him, and then just boom, he hits the ground.
I think like after, because everything before that fight was kind of like uppity up, and it was kind of like it was still like a, even though they were at odds in each other, like it didn't feel grim, and that's
They weren't really hurting each other. They were just kind of like smashing into each other and trying to get towards the jet to get Captain away
No,
from
but
there.
I'm talking in general before that very end of the fight scene. I'm talking like in the movie in general. Everything, it didn't feel serious. Like it didn't feel like things were at stake. And like, but after that fight scene, right when people are getting hurt and like everyone, like people are getting hurt and Scarlet Witch is like passed out in Vision's arms, and War Machine is passed out, and he like hurts himself pretty badly, and then Samus is like, I'm so sorry, Tony, and then he gets hit, and then like you start.
Tony doesn't even look and just shoots him.
Exactly
like,
after that point, you start get this feeling like shit's getting real. Like this is getting real. Like this is gonna be more. Like this is gonna ruin friendships. This is gonna like ruin people's lives. Like it ruined War Machine's life pretty much.
Yeah.
And like you started like because that's the one thing I was like I knew. My biggest gripe with the movie, before seeing the movie, was that I know they're not going to take this seriously. I know that like they're not going to make things matter. You know what I mean? Like they're going to oh, at the end everything's going to be resolved, everything's going to be fine. Like, oh, shake hands, we're all going to be. That's what I thought Marvel was going to do with Civil War. And I was like,
yeah, there's not going to be any lasting consequences. It's going to be they're going to fight against each other, and then they're all going to go. They're going to resolve it all and be friends again and go on their merry way.
That's what I thought, and I was so wrong. Because right after that fight scene, everyone goes to jail.
Yeah. That freaking floating Supermax prison.
Yeah, it's like almost like Stryker Island almost in the DC comics. I was like, oh fuck, shit is getting fucking real. Like this is like I never thought we would take it to this place. Like you can even tell in the lighting of the movie like everything was bright in the first half of that movie, and then after the airport scene, everything was dark. Everything was like in
Yeah.
a darker tone, like almost like a Zack Snyder movie. It was like everything's darker. It was just like, oh my goodness gracious, I can't believe this is a thing. And I can't believe
I
like
love-
this is so down now. Like, thank God they're finally like getting to a point where like this is depressing as hell, and people are getting hurt. It's about time.
I love how Tony Stark passes Scott Lang in the prison cell.
Oh, he's like,
And
he said,
Who
what
are
did he
you?
say? Prim, or what was it? It was like Prim said, you could never
He said,
trust a
he
star.
was, yeah, Pym
He's like-
said never trust a star because Hank
Yeah.
Pym is the guy who trained up Scott Lang.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's like,
And
who
Tony's
are you?
like, yeah.
Who are you?
Oh man.
Yeah, and then so I think after that, I think Iron Man figures out everything, like what's actually been happening, and that Winter Soldier was framed and all that stuff, and he
Yeah,
goes,
on the way to the prison, he figures out all that. They have the person at the hotel in Berlin finds the dead body, and then Stark figures out all that stuff, and like, oh, Captain America was telling the truth. You know, this is happening. And he gets to the prison, and then he does the whole, taking out the audio so he can ask Sam Wilson, where
What the
is he
deal
going?
is,
I
yeah.
need to know.
yeah, and so he does that, and of course, Black Panther gets shoehorned in there and flies away and flies chasing Iron Man.
I loved that, like, unbuckle his arm and press the button, and bam, retract into his suit and fall out of the helicopter and fly away. That was a
Yeah.
great Iron Man suit.
Yeah, but it's like that's so Iron Man though, right?
I
That's
know
like
it
so.
was.
That's so like I think we'll get this at the very end. It's like I think we're starting to get more desensitized to like the stuff that Iron Man is doing. But then we'll get that to the very end. It's so they Iron Man catches up with Winter Soldier and Captain America, and they try to find the guy who's been heading all this stuff and trying to stop him from turning on these secret agents.
Yeah.
These like super secret, like these super Captain America .05 people,
Yeah.
and I think that like, and then what happened after that?
They go in the compound, and then they see. Oh wait, they're entering the compound, and then you hear the door open, and Iron Man comes
Yeah,
in.
Iron Man comes out, and they like are friends again. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I was like, oh come on, like that's the point where it's like, oh here we go, we're all friends again. Oh my god.
Well, it makes sense because they have been friends and working together for a long time. So
Yeah, but like I didn't want that. Like that's what I was saying. Is like, look, they're gonna become best friends at the end. That's what I was saying. It was like they're gonna become best friends. That's what I thought at that point. Oh, they're gonna become best friends. Here we go. They're gonna shake hands.
Well,
and everything's gonna be fine.
the way that they framed it wasn't as much of them, everything is gone. It's that, okay, we need to work together. I acknowledge this is a huge threat, and I want to help you take care of it because we don't have enough time to go through the legitimate means. And he's kind of like, it's kind of showing that Tony is seeing the right in Captain America's stance a little bit. He's seeing that he might not be fully right in his big stance, and so they have a temporary truce to try to deal with this problem.
And then shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they go into that little spot where they had Bucky in like a long time ago, and you see those little chambers with the other super soldiers.
Yeah, and they're all
And then
dead.
you see the bullet holes on their forehead, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's the point of
Yeah,
them coming
what's
in
gonna
all the
happen now?
time?
And then everything starts making sense. The whole
Yeah,
movie
'cause
starts
Zemo
making sense
showed-
again, and everything's like all the callbacks. And then when they're showing Winter Soldier killing Tony's dad in a pretty gruesome way, if you ask
that
me.
was brutal.
If you ask me, it was pretty effing brutal. And then shit hits the fan, and then the Iron Man and Captain America are fighting each other. Everyone's fighting each other, and I'm like, oh my god, this is what I wanted. I wanted shit to hit the fan. I don't want them to be friends. I want someone to this is it. This is what I wanted. And just the fight scene.
That was my favorite fight scene.
That was your favorite fight, more than the airplane scene, the airport.
They were both really good, but I loved the Marvel showing that it can do brutal fight scenes.
Yeah, like Iron Man getting like double teamed by Bucky and Steve with the like them throwing the shield off Iron Man and then throwing it back off Iron Man again to the other
Yeah.
person. I was like, oh my god, this is so sexy.
I liked seeing Marvel do a fight to the death between superheroes. That was
fight to the death in quotations. Come on.
well, Iron Man wanted to kill Bucky.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
was his goal.
That was
to
his
kill
goal.
Bucky.
Yeah. And he didn't care about Steve or anything at that moment or anything.
Steve was just in the way.
Yeah. Man, dude, that was just like it was a sexy fight scene. And then Winter Soldier losing his arm, it was just like everything that they did there was fucking crazy. You're like, I can't believe it. Like once again, there you say this like for the 15th time in the movie. I can't believe this is a thing. I can't believe I'm seeing this with my eyes.
And then Captain gets on top of Iron Man, starts like beating at his face and blasts his helmet off, and then just slams his shield into his chest. Like, oh my god!
And then when like Captain America like comes victorious, it comes out victorious, and Iron Man says, "You don't deserve that shield." Blah blah blah. My dad made that shield, and he just drops it, and he gives up, and he's like, "Fine, if you want this, here you go." And he drops it, and that was perfection. That was awesome. Yeah. That was.
And then
awesome.
the whole scene with Zemo and Black Panther.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then the resolution with the villain, which I feel like, going back to, he retracts his claws, just goes and retracts his claws.
Yeah.
That was like obviously showing the claws come out constantly made so much sense at that point. Like right at the very end, it made sense why they were kept showing him pulling out his claws.
Yeah, that line that Black Panther has was like, Zemo says his line about, I will, talk to the dead or whatever, and then Black Panther's just, the living aren't done with you yet, and stops him from shooting himself. It's like he makes that, the death is too easy. It's his vengeance by killing. It's just not. It's not what he should be doing. He needs to make sure that they pay for what they did instead of just going on a murderous rampage when he's wronged.
Yeah. So after all that happens, Captain America goes rogue, and releases all the superheroes to make his own Avenger squad, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then everything's all right. And that's what pissed me off at the very end. Everything's all right. Just call me whenever you want, and we'll be friends again. I was like, oh, come on.
But that's what Captain America stands for. Is he wants to make the world a better place.
Blah. Just then someone kill someone then. Like kill someone. Like right. Oh God, that's the ending was so weak in this movie. Like the ending was very weak in my opinion.
I liked the ending a lot. It gave that resolution. Like the Avengers have been fractured, but it's not destroyed. They can rebuild from where they are, and they're going to have to rebuild for Infinity War. I feel like there's going to be. I feel like there is going to be death in Infinity War.
Well, there has to be.
Yeah.
If they don't, that actually will make me angry. Like I'll say, like no matter how good the movie is, with no deaths though, I'll just be like, what the hell? What's the point of all this?
Yeah.
There has to be an ultimatum. Like there has to be an ultimatum sooner or later, and Infinity War is the ultimatum. Someone's got to die. Someone has to die. And honestly, yeah. Well, it's just like I'm sick of happy endings. That's just like my thing. Is I'm sick of happy endings, and I just want there to be people who are just messed up, and I want people to just be like totally tormented, and just like at the end they just like there's no happiness. That's what I want, because it
wasn't really a happy ending though.
Yeah, it was though. It was though. Like everyone was fine. No one was hurt. I mean, except
it was a positive ending, but it wasn't. They weren't happy. Like Tony lost one of his best friends. They, his baby, the Avengers, has been ripped apart from the inside. Like these people that he has had his family with, they're now on opposite sides of the law, and so it's there's not death separating them, but they're not all a big happy family as the Avengers anymore.
I see your point, but I want death.
They're building up to it.
They're building up
They're
to
building
it.
up to it.
Someone
Yeah.
has to die. But then, and then I think the after credit scenes, it shows Spider-Man that Spider-Man's gonna get his movie, and then they show Black Panther, and the Black Panther movie is gonna come out soon. So we should be excited for
Yeah.
those, I guess. That's especially the
I'm just
Spider-Man
excited
one.
for Marvel to have control over Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty interesting. I wonder what villains they're gonna use though. That's for sure.
The Green Goblin.
Oh, please no. Please no. I think they honestly they've used all the villains. Just use the Sinister Six. Just honestly go for Sinister Six, and then
Just go
Like,
straight
go-
with them.
just go balls in with Sinister Six and see what happens.
I think they're
Mhm.
going to use kind of a starter villain because
Yeah, but they've
him,
used. There's been
with his
5
powers-
Spider-Man movies though. That's the thing.
But this is erasing all of those. This
But
is
that means we are gonna
the
get
Spider-
an origin
this is
story, and I'm not down with that.
well, they're not doing origin story.
Oh, they said they're not doing one.
Yeah, they're starting with him having his powers for 6 months.
So is
Oh.
this after what happened in the Civil War?
So
I believe-
is Spider-Man Homecoming gonna be?
Yeah,
Is
it
the
should be
after
after
Civil War?
War.
Okay, then I'm fine with that then. But if there's
But
a
that's the whole
flashback, I'm
Marvel
gonna
thing
be
is-
fucking pissed.
they time everything so the movies take place in time with stuff.
No, I don't think
that's
that's
the whole. Mostly,
mostly. I will agree with mostly.
except for flashbacks and some edge cases, but
There's gonna be-
generally they
Jolly,
line it all up in a big timeline.
Jolly, I guarantee you there's going to be a flashback of Uncle Ben dying. I guarantee it. And I'm going to be like, I'm sick and tired of this.
They will probably they'll at least mention it. They'll probably have a short scene about it, but they're not going to spend half an hour, 45 minutes. Him dying, him going on his vendetta, him getting his powers, all that stuff. They're going to cut that stuff out, and he's a kid dealing with his powers in high school.
I feel like it might be a dream that he has his little origin story. That he
Yeah, I
wakes
have a
up from.
nightmare about
Yeah.
his
Uncle Ben
Uncle
dying.
dying.
Yeah. Sort of feel like it might happen. You think Tony Stark will be in it?
They
Like a little
confirmed
cameo?
that he's in it.
Oh, they have? Oh,
He'll be in it a little bit.
nice. I like seeing Downey.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that too. I think it's going to be like helping with his suit and stuff like that. So, end all and be all, this was a fantastic movie. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, I feel like you'll be able to appreciate everything that's in this movie.
Yeah. And if you are a Marvel fan, you get to see more of the continuation of the, cinematic universe timeline.
Yeah. And I think that we need to realize how blessed we are that this is a thing. Like, we're seeing Iron Man fighting Captain America, not alone working together, they're fighting each other. Like, that's amazing. Who would have thought that 10 years ago this was going to be a thing?
Pulled all these superhero stories under a singular creative vision, so they all work together. It's amazing.
That no one I've never thought this was going to happen in a million years. After
Yeah.
reading all these comic books on wasting my money and all that shit. I never thought that this was going to be real life. I never thought it, honestly. And now that I'm seeing it, it's just, I'm so blessed that I can see this. I honestly, like, I'm more of a DC fan than a Marvel fan, but I've read all the Civil War comics and all that stuff, and seeing this is just ridiculous. Like, I mean, seeing Batman vs Superman, obviously I wasn't as happy because it wasn't as good, but seeing it happen was still amazing. Like, I can't believe this is a thing, that they're having one vision and they're going with it. Like, I give them props for doing that at least. And Marvel's doing the same thing. It's just like, wow, this is happening. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, Infinity War is going to be crazy. Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be crazy. And they're going to allow cameos in the individual movies. Like, hey, look, Iron Man shown here fixing Peter Parker suit. Oh my god, that's crazy. That's something you would only see in comics, and now it's coming real life.
Yeah, I would just wish they would get the X-Men back, but that's not gonna happen.
Soon, my
X-Men
friend.
and Fantastic
Soon.
Four.
It's too. I think honestly, it's too late for X-Men. Like you're too late to the party, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think X-Men will really be able to fit into the cinematic universe very well. Fantastic Four could fit in pretty well. Still, there's some great, villains from the Fantastic Four universe that could fit in.
After this latest failure, though, it's not going to happen.
Well,
No.
if they get control of the properties and are able to take, villains from it, they might, just have
Doom.
I don't know.
Just have Doom.
It would be
Yeah.
Just Doom, because Doom's
would
actually the
be
only
hard.
cool part about Fantastic Four.
It
Yeah.
would definitely be hard, but if anyone can, take the Fantastic Four and integrate it into the cinematic universe, it's Marvel. If they get their hands on it, they can figure out a way to do it.
I don't know. All right, so end all. We're getting away from the main subject at hand.
Yeah, now we're just talking about Marvel and DC in general.
DC in general. End
Now
all.
time to wait for Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Well, if you're a fan, yeah. If you want to go ahead and give your money to Doctor Strange, I guess you can go do that. Sure. I'll be coming back here for Star Wars. That's for sure. I'll be waiting for Star Wars, not Doctor Strange. I'm sorry to tell you.
I'll be waiting for both.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, go see the movie. Please do yourself a
Definitely.
favor. Spend the $10.50 or whatever, how much it is. Go see the movie.
Spend,
Jolly,
spend
your
20
final.
bucks for
Jolly, your final review.
I loved it. I saw it twice in 3 days, and it was just as good the second time.
Kevin.
it was awesome in IMAX. That's where I saw it.
Nice.
So yes, go see the
Amazing.
movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Spend all
well,
your money you can.
Yeah, spend the money to see this movie and support this so more can come out. Not that they need the help or anything.
Yeah, that'll be just fine.
Thank you for listening to the Reviewcast, and we'll see you next time.